Hey everyone, it's Justin. Thank you for watching and welcome to my house. It's time for another comment desk. Yes, I've got comments for you all. Comments and comments and comments. It's been a few weeks, so let's get down to it. Let's go all the way to the bottom here. I've got a message or a comment on my video for ServiceNow Agile Development in Microsoft Azure DevOps. Hi Justin, what are the permissions to be given for an ADO ServiceNow account? I'm assuming they're talking about the service account because you don't want to use your account or a named user account of someone who actually uses Azure DevOps or ServiceNow. You want to make sure you use a service account. And to answer your question directly, it's you want to make sure they have admin privileges in the Azure DevOps. If you go to, let's go to the documentation here. I'm just going to search for Azure DevOps, and I think that was the Agile Teams integration. So let's just setting up Azure DevOps console. There's the Spoke. Let's do this, Azure DevOps Agile Teams, because there's a specific plugin just for that. Connecting, is this what I want? Yeah, this is the integration between Azure DevOps. And so here is, set the username. I'm pretty sure it specifies, you must create a connection alias. Basic authentication. Use the details of your personal access token in Azure DevOps while creating the basic authentication credentials. Set the password. So it doesn't really tell you, I guess, what permissions it needs. But I know from experience, make it a full admin. Don't do anything less than full admin. I thought it used to say it here. That's why I had it over here. Roles required admin. That's in ServiceNow. And to create basic auth credentials. So yeah, it doesn't actually say it, so I have to fail on the documentation there, but make sure they have full admin privileges to both all the projects that would be integrated. Some environments there's multiple projects, other environments there's just one project, but you want to make sure that whatever account you create has the access you need. So thanks for watching, and hopefully good luck on your journey with setting up that integration. Next up is on ServiceNow Project Workspace. This was a 3.0 release of Workspace where there was an issue when I upgraded and it got fixed. So Manita added a comment here. Hey Manita, gosh, I haven't seen your face in a while. I saw one weird issue on a Project Workspace when I updated the SN Task Planner plugin to the latest version. My planning tab keeps showing my circle of loading, but the page does not load. Have you seen this? It's on version 22.2.0. No, I have not seen that particular issue. I'm gonna go ahead and log back into my instance that has that has the project planning workspace, or project workspace, I guess is how I should say that. So we'll let that reconnect here. Let me close these other tabs. And I'm not even sure what version I'm on, but I know, did I update this one? I haven't updated since the big release in November, so November 2nd-ish. There was a bunch of new releases in the ServiceNow store, and I still got to catch up my demo showcases to that latest release. And I spent probably all my free time outside of work catching up with what was in the new releases, so trying to go through the release notes and all the new apps. There was like 500 plus apps in that November 2nd drop, and I believe Project Workspace was one of them. Looks like the last thing I was showing here was the PMO dashboard. I guess I did a SPM demo last week before Thanksgiving. But let's head over to, actually let me go to System Apps, and that'll tell me what version I have installed, because I bet I'm not even on the same version you are, so it's probably pointless to show mine working or not working. So you said you're 22 dot something. Let's go to System App All. This is the new app manager that's going to pull up if you haven't seen it. We can see what versions of stuff we have in here. I guess I could have gone to the app table, but let's do Project Workspace, search for that. And I have installed 3 of them. And there's Project Workspace. And wow, my version's way different than yours. I'm on 4.1.1. You know, I kind of wondered in the comment you had 22.2. 4.2.0 is the latest. So yeah, I'm not sure. We're definitely on different versions, Manita. Maybe, let me go back and read that comment again. It's on version 22.2.0. Okay, let's assume that Manita meant 4.2.0 and not 22.2.0. And that is the latest, which I haven't updated to yet. So I'm not going to tie up the video with me updating. But I will get this updated at some point this week, and we'll come back and I'll update the comment with this video, and say that I haven't seen the issue, I'm not on the same version, and maybe we get some clarity around the version number, and then by that time I might have actually updated mine. So thanks Medita for still watching and for leaving a comment. Always good to see your face. And we'll move on to the next one. All right. The next comment is on my first transform script video. That was a few weeks ago. And really appreciate you for making the video, says the user Jasani2199. I hope I'm saying that right. But the thing you're explaining in the video is actually a source script that we use to properly map field and transform maps. Transform map scripts are different. They affect and control the execution of transform maps at different points in time. Hey, thank you so much for the clarification. As you saw in the video, it was a new activity for me. I hadn't really done that before, so it was new, and I'm glad you got the terminology clarified. I don't want to make any more transform scripts. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but ServiceNow's sitemap broke. It's still broken, by the way. I checked it before recording this. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the clarification, and I appreciate it. And I'll try to get that updated. Next up is on a ServiceNow Store Highlights episode from November 10th, 2023. It was Jace, Exciting Times. Okay, this was the one I was referring to just a little bit earlier, 500 and something applications on November 2nd. It took me a week to turn that around. Actually, it took me a week to discover that there was that many, because I'm about a week behind on the App Store, and then another week to in a weekend to catch up with all that. So thanks, Jace. Thanks for watching. Always appreciate that. Next on my video, ServiceNow Jira Spoke, Connect and Test. DreamJoy1000. Hi, trying to find a way to pass additional fields using create issue in Jira Spoke. Additional field option is currently grayed out. Do we need to create any additional steps to get all fields from Jira to map between ServiceNow and Jira for create issue? I don't with the Spoke you should be able to do what you need to do. I'm actually surprised, trying to find a way to pass additional fields using the create issue in Jira Spoke. Additional field option is currently grayed out. Do we need to create an additional fields? So there's an additional fields. Let me go to my PDI and see if I have the Jira Spoke installed. I think I should, because I made that video. It might be in my showcase instance. We'll go back there if I need to. And I'm just gonna, so while this is loading, when you create a new flow in ServiceNow and you add a step to that flow, sometimes there's a delay or a lag in letting you do something with it. It's one of the more frustrating things about using Flow Designer, even though I'm a fan. Test Jira Spoke. I'll just name this. I'm not going to put that in that app. I'm going to put this in global because I'm just testing something real quick. And then we'll add a trigger. Not a trigger. I don't want to add a trigger. I want to add an action. We'll deal with a trigger at some other point. Just to answer those questions, I'm going to search for Jira. I don't have the Jira Spoke. Okay, so that was a waste of time. Let's go over here, favorites, Flow Designer, and we'll pull up. Surely I have the Jira Spoke in here, but I might have made it on a different showcase instance, so I might have some editing to do on this video. Definitely don't want the Salesforce Spoke. Put that in global, submit. Add an action, Jira, and we're looking for the create issue action in the Jira Spoke is what they were referring to in that comment. DreamJoy1000, I think it was. This is what makes people frustrated with Flow Designer. So if anybody's watching for user feedback, this is exactly what people don't like. It's actually easier in the old workflow engine to do certain things, and sometimes there's a lot of wait time when you're working in Flow Designer. Now, I will admit in Vancouver, it's significantly better, but there still are spots like this that you're seeing. The other one I've seen in this instance actually is where the AI thing is trying to predict the next recommended action or something like that, and that'll take forever too. So, all right, I talked long enough. Here's the Jira Spoke, and let's do create issue. And what I think you're referring to, we'll actually probably see it in real time here, is the additional fields right here. I think that's what you're referring to. And notice how mine is, oh look, mine's grayed out too. Okay, so what I do know is that some of these are using dynamic inputs, right? So look at this project key, right? the project key is actually going to go query Jira to pull project keys, and then it's going to pull the issue types, all right? So you've got to have the connection made to your Jira instance in order for these actions to work. And right now, what's going to happen is, since I don't have it working in this instance, it's not going to let me select an additional field until I can connect it and fill out these fields. I think that's what's going on based on your comment. It may not be, but I suspect that's what's going on. You are not going to be able to add an additional field value until these dynamic inputs work. And what I mean by dynamic inputs is that it's going to use the connection and credential alias to go over to Jira and query all the project keys and then populate this dropdown with those project keys. And then once that's populated, it's going to go query that project and bring down all the issue types and populate it so you can select the appropriate issue type. And then you put in your summary, description, priority, whatever, and then you can add your additional fields at that point. Unfortunately, mine's not connected. I guess we can try one more instance where it might be connected. Let's let this load up here for a second. Maybe it's not loading Flow Designer. Okay, got global. It actually populated it finally. This test Jira Spoke, so we'll go ahead and create it. Add an action. We will search for Jira, just like we did in our other instances. Hopefully third time is the charm here. There's Jira. We're going to do create issue. The only thing that could go wrong here is if my token is expired in order to populate these project keys. But there's that project key using a dynamic input. And yeah, mine doesn't have anything in there either. So long way of answering you. I think you need to make sure that connection is working, and then you'll be able to add those additional fields. But you've got to select a valid project key and a valid issue type before it'll light this up and let you start using it. So long answer to, or long way to a short answer, I guess is what I should say. But hey, thank you for watching and leaving a comment on the video. Next up, this is for my Microsoft Teams high contrast video, which I still use, by the way, the high contrast mode. Let's see. Is there a way to change the color from yellow to maybe like a blue or a green? Okay. This is from BW. I like how that's spelled. If I said that right. No, there's no way to change the colors on these, but I'm on now the classic Microsoft Teams app. I haven't been able to update to the new Microsoft Teams app, which I think there's some settings around themes. Now I haven't put my hands on it, haven't touched it, but you may want to go look for that newer version of Microsoft Teams and see if there's options for changing the colors. I'm one of those people, I'm colorblind, so changing colors is something I try not to do because I don't really, they look weird to everybody else. They look good to me, but they look weird to everybody else. So I'm not like the pink person, but it just, I see colors differently. So I don't touch them. I wouldn't want to change them, but you may want to check that out, that newer version of Teams. And whenever I get to update mine, I'm waiting on a corporate policy, I guess, to do that. Then I might go actually try changing that and come back and I'll update the comment accordingly. So thank you for watching, BW. Next up, this is on my, again, the ServiceNow Jira Spoke Connect and Test video, which we just did a second ago. This one is get projects metadata flow designer returning null projects even if we have projects data in Jira. Any insights here? An easy one because I just got done answering this last question. If you're getting null, I would check to make sure that connection is actually working because, again, it's a dynamic input. It's going out and it's querying your Jira instance for all the projects, and it's going to populate that dropdown with the project keys. So make sure, one, that the credentials are valid, and two, to the question asked about Azure DevOps earlier, make sure I would start with troubleshooting with full admin access to your Jira instance. So make sure that service account has wide open access. You can scale back permissions later and see what breaks. But while you're building and testing and getting started, open it up. Give it everything it needs so that you're not running into issues like this, especially with something like dynamic inputs. I think they meant well by using dynamic inputs, but it's causing a lot of headaches for people just getting started, like launching into that integration. So number one, check and make sure you've done the connection and credentials correctly. Number two, make sure that credential that you're using has full access to your Jira instance, and then that's what I would recommend. I'll leave you a note too, but thank you for watching and thanks for leaving a comment. All right, next up from Alan Innovation. Thank you for watching, Alan. This is on my ServiceNow San Diego HR Service Delivery Anonymous Report Center. For those of you that have been following the channel for a long time, that was like my infancy of YouTube videos. I was really green and kind of figuring things out back then, so I'm a little nervous of what Alan had to say here, but let's check it out. Hi Justin, quick question. For your SSO that you had configured, do you have the auto redirect IDP setting for your identity provider set to true? I'm seeing an issue where SSO is configured. They go to the anonymous reporting center, ARC logs them out, but then SSO kicks in trying to log them back in. Your video you mentioned had SSO on, and it engaged when you went to the other URL to check the backend view of the anonymous case, and you didn't have the same issue I'm hearing about, but I suspect you may have the auto redirect for that IDP turned off. Any thoughts? Thanks. Alan, you were exactly 100% correct. On my demo showcases, I turned that auto redirect for the IDP off so that we are able to log in with named credentials using the mobile application. So what happened was when we were trying to do demos with emulators, the mobile apps kept trying to do single sign-on, and then I couldn't get single sign-on to work through an emulator because it was just a pain in the butt, right? So I, on all my demo showcases, turn that off. I don't have SSO turned on in my PDI, but you're right. Your suspicion that I have it turned off is correct. That's part of my steps when I go and set up an instance, is I turn that off, because our IT department where I work at obviously turns that on, because in a production or most demo environments that you'd want people to automatically sign in via SSO, because that's the thing to do. But for demoing, I do turn that off, and so you are correct. Your suspicion is correct. So I hope that helps. It's 11 days ago that you asked that, but I hope that helps with you in your troubleshooting. Next up, these are from the same user. It's both on the Otterly Owlsome podcast with Allison and Justin. This is from Shaker1012, who, by the way, will be a guest on this week's episode, airing on November 29th. So this person who left a comment. Number one, I was struggling in the video to figure out, when I went to Chicago, they put peppers on my hot dog, and I like them, but I can't find those peppers anywhere. I live in North Carolina. We can't find those. So thank you, David. I now remember that they said sport peppers on the menu. It's been like 5-6 years since I went there. And then he's got team hot dog, no ketchup, which, by the way, I like ketchup on my hot dog. I'm going to say it. I'll put ketchup, I'll put mustard, I'll put hot sauce on my hot dog, but I'm in Carolinas and I don't like coleslaw. A lot of people here put coleslaw on their hot dogs, believe it or not, and I don't like that. I'd rather have ketchup. So I'm still on team hot dog, but I'm not on team no ketchup. Also needed to hit up Santa's Village to Allison. I will send a bean and a construction cone to commemorate the experience. Count me in. This is a good PSA for everyone that may be leaving Allison messages. I let Allison know about this one, but the channel, she doesn't have access to the comments on the channel because our podcast is on my YouTube channel. But I did let her know, and I will respond to both of these. So thank you, David, for watching. Thanks for leaving comments. You made me smile. I appreciate it. All right, we got another ServiceNow store highlights comment from Jay Spenson. I thought it was pronounced 10 on. Okay, so in this video, I'm reviewing applications, right? So it could be new applications, it could be updated applications. The one he's talking about, there was like a pile of new components for UI Builder from this company, Tenon, I guess as he's pronouncing it now, or Tenon. And I was saying Tenon in the video, and the truth is, I'll lump this in the category of my color blindness. I see words and I pronounce them in my head, right? So I literally sound them out in my head. And then once I have one in my head, I'll say it like that until someone comes and corrects me, like Jason nicely did here. Not Jason, Jace. So yes, Jace, it probably is Tenon or Tenon. I just had Tenon in my mind when I was filming the video, and I think they've come up in previous episodes, so that's why. Just let me know in the comments on the videos if I'm pronouncing something wrong. A lot of times too, there's not just names, but like the names of the companies, or in the descriptions of the release notes, there'll be words I'm like, oh, I hope I'm saying that right. So I appreciate this. I welcome. Please leave the updates so I don't sound like an idiot when I make my next video. I love it. Next up on my video, adding columns in Microsoft Project. I was trying to figure this out. I was doing a video where I was importing Microsoft Project files into ServiceNow and exporting them back out. and I was trying to figure out where the heck this column was that I needed. User with a bunch of words or a bunch of letters and numbers says, is there a chance to do the same but on project online, dub dub dub? This is the Project Online thing from Microsoft. I don't know. I don't have Microsoft Project Online. My developer instance for 365 doesn't include Project Online. So I don't know if there's a way to do that in Project Online. I'm probably not the best resource, and I apologize because I know I posted a video on Microsoft Project like I'm some kind of expert, but I'm really not. I was just going after that one thing, and so I hope you find the answer somewhere, or someone maybe comes by and views this and might have the answer, but unfortunately I don't know. But hey, I appreciate you watching the channel, and I appreciate you leaving a comment. It's awesome. Next up, convert flow actions to a subflow in the same application scope. User again with a bunch of letters and numbers. Thank you, you saved my time. Hey, that's awesome. You're the second thank you I've gotten related to that video. There's someone I work with who, it might be the same person because I really don't know who this is, that they went by and used that video to do the same thing. And that kind of feedback just means a lot to me because I make these videos, I put them out there. Most of the videos are things that I had to go learn, I had to go figure out, I had to go do in order to show a customer or do a demo or just out of my own curiosity. And that's another one. It was a new release for, what was that, Utah. And I'm doing flows all the time. So actually, I've used this one a couple times, but I haven't used it as much as I thought I would. Because over the time of using ServiceNow, I've gotten better about thinking of if this is going to be a subflow or a flow. So I think that's just something with experience you get. But thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving a comment. That just made my day. All right, next up is another ServiceNow store highlights. This is last Friday's 11/24/2023. From a user with some letters and numbers. Star eye emoji. This video was amazing. Thank you for sharing your expertise. So, two comments on this one. One is, there was a application in that episode where the people who did the release notes used emojis, and I called out the star eye emoji. I think there was a strong arm emoji, and then there was a star emoji. I can't believe I remember all that. It was last week, a holiday week for here in the US. So I'm thinking this may be related. If not, if it's just a random watcher, thank you for complimenting me. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for leaving a comment on the channel. I really, really appreciate that. Again, it makes me smile. It makes my day. So next up, Agent Assist. ServiceNow Agent Assist video. Look at that. I was doing it with no hat on back then. I mean, I can still do that. I'm just as bald. I'm not really bald. I trim my hair really close. But yeah, I had no hair in that video. Now I got to fix my hat. They said, hi Justin, I need some help. In Agent Assist, you add similar incidents, similar open incidents under search resources. Are there any plugins needed? Oh my gosh, so this is from Suvitha Murugan, 1904. I probably mispronounced that too. The short answer is yes, there are plugins needed for those similarity things. What you're using in ServiceNow is predictive intelligence. That's what's finding those similarity solutions. So let's head back to the doc site real quick. I'm going to go to my PDI, and I think I have the doc site up. Yeah, so we'll just search for predictive intelligence. There's a couple different components in predictive intelligence, and it does things based on similarity, categorization for assignment. Let's just go ahead and configure this real quick. And let's see, the solution training, solution prediction, instance cloning. Yeah, this is not what I was looking for. Create a word corpus, install, explore predictive intelligence. Maybe that's what I want. They've changed a little bit of this. Okay, this looks a little bit different than I was used to. Ah, here we go. This is what I was after. Okay, so this is good. This is a good explainer on the different frameworks. So there's classification, predictive intelligence classification framework. Then there is the similarity framework, which is what that user is asking about in the comment. There's clustering, and then there's regression. Okay, so similarity is what's being used in those agent recommendations in the ITSM or service operations workspace. And my goodness, yes, there is a bunch of stuff you have to install. So number one, you can see it here. The plugin is use the search bar to load predictive intelligence reports and predictive intelligence plugin. Okay, so those are the two plugins you need. And then, not only that, then you've got to create the solution definitions, right? So if you have to configure it, you've got to create custom stop words, create a word corpus, you could say all this stuff, and then do some trained solutions. And the solutions are on a data set, and that data set has a minimum record count requirement in order for that to work. So it's going to be a couple of steps there to follow. There are professional services companies like the one I work for that we help with this. So it isn't, just stand it up and do it. So yes, you're going to need plugins, and then you're going to need to configure those plugins in order to find those similar incidents. I believe similar incidents is one of the ones that's actually included. You just got to turn it on, have that minimum record count, and then run the solution training, and then you should be able to use it. But don't take my word for it. Use that documentation site, and you'll be much better off. I go reference the documentation site myself every time I go to do something because it updates all the time. So whenever I go to do something, I assume that something's changed and I need to figure it out again. So thank you for watching, and thanks for leaving that comment. I will leave you a comment back. And wow, we're towards the end here. Last comment, ServiceNow Admin Center May 2023 update from Edward Rosario. I'm trying to use Admin Center and added a report for incidents to the dashboard, but when I click the incident number, I get in the page you are looking for could not be found error. Has anyone been able to get this working? I have not had that issue. I'm glad you asked the channel, because there's more people that watch than just me who makes a video, so I hope someone comes by and answer. My first thought, Edward, is have you defined the drill down capability? So when you are adding stuff to that admin center, actually let's go over to my PDI so we can talk through this visually. So we'll go to admin home. I believe that's admin center what you're referring to. If not, leave me a comment again down below. But those widgets or those visualizations on that landing page are part of the platform analytics workspace, which lets you do things like add things like that. So I have an open P1 incidents. Here's changes. Do this changes actually take me to anything? Let's see if it does a page cannot be found on this one. It shouldn't, but we'll see. Yeah, it takes me to the changes. So I have a list of changes, and I'll click on a change number. Oh, look, you're doing this. I got the same thing you did. The page you are looking for could not be found. Interesting. Wow, we reproduced something live in front of you. Okay, so let's get in here. I'm going to hit the edit button. We're going to try this in real time. I'm going to go to this data visualization, and my head is on top of what I want to show you. All right, so these are the data sources. And additional settings, data update, presentation display settings, colors. That's all I got. That's all the configurations I got. Header and border, chart titles, data, define data manually, and go to change request. That's interesting. I was looking for, okay, here's the enabled drill down. When selected, enables an event handler to allow users to click a visualization value or section. So when I click that, it turned it off. So we'll keep that turned on. And then refresh values, refresh requested. Okay, so I think what's broken in both of our instances now is this enable drill down. I don't know immediately the fix for it, but let's try one thing, because I'm in a weird place. I'm in the different applications, in the admin center application. So this is data visualization for changes. Does it have a name? It doesn't have a name. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get out of my ServiceNow store updates. I'm going to go to admin center application, and I'm going to not go through my admin center. I'm going to go through platform analytics workspace. So let's hop over there, and in platform analytics workspace I should be able to get to those data visualizations independently, right? Not from the dashboard itself. So here they are. And do I have one for changes? Wow, I don't see anything under C. I'm under all. I'm in the right application scope. So let's go ahead and search for contains change. Wow, nothing there. Okay, let's go to dashboards. There's my dashboard. Here's the shared admin dashboard. I think that's admin center's dashboard. We'll find out here. Open incidents, changes. There it is. We'll click edit. I'm not getting that banner anymore. So here's the data visualization. So I've got single score, change request, define data manually, change request, data update, follow filters, enable drill down. So everything's set up just like it was when I first clicked that. And yeah, I'm not seeing anything for you to configure that particular drill down. So so the answer is yes, I'm seeing the same thing you are, and it is not working correctly. So when I click on changes, let's exit editing mode, it takes me to the list of changes, but then I can't open the actual change. And there should be a form. It should be using the default form to show this. Oh my gosh, is it going to work? Is it going to work? Okay, that's interesting. So it works in Platform Analytics Workspace, doesn't work on the admin homepage. So some new details there. So let's click on Changes again. And now I suspect Platform Analytics Workspace probably has the form configured or whatever for changes, but or is redirecting to the standard form, but the Admin Center Home doesn't. So, let's see if we can. I'm going to go to UI Builder. I'm just going way out here and way out of my expertise because I'm not a UI Builder person. But what I pull up is that Admin Home, and then see if there's a form. There should be a list of forms if I know correctly, if I understand correctly how it works. Okay, let's go to the experiences. Let's sort this by display name, ascending, and there's Admin Center. Let's open that up. I'm in the right application for Admin Center, so we're good there. And so there's the record default. So this is what I was suspecting was not there. Record default should be, it provides the table and the sys-ID, and then it should pull up the record. So that's there, it exists, just not sure why it shouldn't be using. So this might be over my pay grade, up over my brain level, if that's a thing. My brain level, I never said that before. Record default, active, order, variant conditions, table, sys-ID, available to all audiences, no audiences added. Okay, so everything looks good to me from my limited experience, but I'm having the same issue you are, Edward Rosario, so I will update and say, yes, I'm seeing the same thing. Now this is on my radar, and I'm interested in why it works in Platform Analytics Workspace, but does not work in the Admin Center Home. So, yeah, I guess TBD there on that one. Thank you for watching. Thanks for leaving a comment on the channel. I don't have a ready answer for you, but I've confirmed I'm seeing the same issue. But try it in Platform Analytics Workspace and see if it works for you, where it didn't work for me in the Admin Center Home. But that's it. I've reached the end of the comments. I hope you found this edition of Comment Desk helpful. If you did, please like, please subscribe, or share it with somebody who you think might be interested in random comments on Justin's videos and getting answers in real time, and actually troubleshooting and doing some things. So you get a little bit more than just the comment, but you get some context around my thoughts and around the comment someone left and the actual resolution if you're asking me questions. Not all questions I'll be able to answer, but anyways, please share it. Would love for more people to find this helpful. Until next time, don't forget to always be learning.